Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining today's webinar. My name is Donna Gordon, and I'm part of the professional development team here at IRSM. You have your speaker today will be Dr. Hani Hosseini and Peter Hurley, who is the branch chair. So before I hand over to Peter, I'm just going to run through a few things first. So to begin with, you should be able to see on the right of your screen a toolbar with various options. You will be on mute for the duration of the webinar. Feel free to ask any questions, make any comments using the question area, and we will take 5 to 10 minutes to respond to these at the end of Dr. Hani's presentation. If you need any support using GoToWebinar, the I symbol will take you to the support site. Finally, the webinar is being recorded and a copy of the recording will be placed on the IRSM YouTube channel after the event. So that's enough from me. Peter, I'm going to hand over to you.
Thank you, Donna. Okay, so welcome one and welcome all to the 96th branch meeting of the UAE branch of the International Institute of Risk and Safety Management. Thank you for your time and attendance this afternoon. My name is Peter Hurley, branch chair, and today is the 4th of August, and we have a nice agenda in store for you. As Donna has mentioned, if you could make sure that your microphones are muted, I think you're automatically on mute anyway. And then any comments or questions that you have about any of the content, either presented by myself or later on by Dr. Hani, please just pop them into the questions box and we'll address them at the end of Dr. Hani's presentation. Okay, so the agenda for today, I'll go through a few updates for some of the activities that branch members can look forward to in the coming weeks and months. We'll then have a presentation from Dr. Hani Hosseini, who is the EHS Director at the Abu Dhabi Centre for Waste Management. And he's going to be talking today on subjects very close to all of our hearts, and that is risk management. And then we'll have a brief period at the end of the presentation available for questions and any other business. Okay, so let me give you some updates. First of all, from the branch itself. As mentioned in the last meeting, and I'm sure many of you are aware now because it's been publicised both on the WhatsApp group and also through LinkedIn, there is a new UAE branch LinkedIn page. This has been developed in partnership with the UK office, and a lot of hard work has been put into the project by our two committee members, Branko and Kevin, and I extend my thanks again to them for stepping up and coordinating this with the UK. The reason we've launched the new page is because we want to have slightly more corporate control over the messages that are put out under the name of IRSM and under the name of the UAE branch. And so all the posts will be vetted and approved to ensure that the messages and the content that we're providing is appropriate and accurate. Now, we've had enormous success since its launch last month. We initially targeted 100 followers by the end of July, and we smashed that in about a week. So we then said, well, let's double that and go for 200. And we smashed that in about a week. So we then decided to go for 500, which we've also smashed. So we've now got about 550, I think, on the page, and we're targeting 700 by the end of August. Now, a lot of the committee members have exhausted their contacts on LinkedIn already by achieving the 500 target. So we're now asking for members, both of the UAE branch and on the LinkedIn page, to help spread the word and help increase the following on the LinkedIn page. we will be taking down the old LinkedIn page at the start of September. So if you're a member of the old LinkedIn page and not yet of the new LinkedIn page, please join the new LinkedIn page, because the old LinkedIn page will be disappearing at the start of September. Okay. Now, one of the initiatives that we're running on the LinkedIn page is that we're going to be posting member profiles. So that involves a simple question and answer to find out a little bit more about the individual members within the branch, and then we will post that on the LinkedIn page every week. So it'll be there for you to do a little bit of self-publicity, and to also tell us a bit about who you are and your history, your career history, your prospects, your qualifications, your competencies, all those sorts of things that will go to help push the content on the LinkedIn page. Now, the committee members don't have a choice, so we'll be taking in turns over the coming weeks. But after that, we'll be looking for volunteers. So if you're interested in having your profile on the page, it's not compulsory, but we are reaching out to all of the branch members, and if anybody is keen to take part in this initiative, then we'll be happy to receive you. Now, exciting news, Claxon. We have a site visit coming up. It's been arranged by the events coordinator, Kevin, on the committee, and he has managed to secure a site visit at the Makers District, which I believe his company that he works for is involved in on a consultative basis. It will be on the 26th of August from 9 a.m. till 11:30. There is only space for 20 members, and I must stress that you must be full members of IRSM and members of the branch. So if you are interested, let me know or let Kevin know as soon as possible. It will be first come, first serve. There are some prerequisites, obviously, in these times. We will be observing all necessary protocols to ensure the controls are in place with regards to COVID-19. And that includes, you must be fully vaccinated. And so that would be a double shot of Sinopharm or a double shot of, it's gone out of my mind now, Pfizer. So any approved vaccine in the UAE, you must have received both doses or full dose. You'll also need a negative PCR test within the last 14 days. Now, that's the last 14 days before the 26th, not before today. So from the 12th of August, 13th of August, you need to have a negative PCR test. Okay. I'm imagining that the Al Hosn apps will also be checked. And you need to bring your own safety shoes and hard hat. High-vis vests will be provided on the day, but obviously if you want to bring your own, you can. There'll be a site tour, and then there'll be photo opportunities as well. So we're going to get some publicity out of this, but more importantly, it'll be an opportunity to get some experience, improve your CPD, and get out and actually see people in real life rather than listening to voices in boxes. So as I say, if you're interested and you want to come along, I think it's going to be a great event. Message me or message Kevin on WhatsApp or express your interest in the group, or you can drop us an email on the branch. Use any of the methods of communication that we have. And like I say, it's going to be first come, first serve, so I encourage you to get in early. Okay, just going to go through a couple of wider benefits of membership and some of the events that are coming up. There's a number of international branch meetings scheduled. There's one coming up in a couple of days' time in Pakistan, then swiftly followed by Egypt, and then towards the end of the month, the Qatar and Nigeria branches will be meeting. Now, you can register for these on the website, and we are working to try to get the link shared on the WhatsApp group as well. And we'll see if we can link to these meetings on the LinkedIn page as well. But if you're interested, then you can visit the website, the RSM website, and go to events and international networks, and you'll see those branches there. Also in the UK, there are meetings this month and next month, the Northwest Branch, Wales and West Midlands. If you want to see what's happening regionally in the UK, then those would be good groups to attend. I ran through these in the last branch meeting, so I won't spend too much time on them. But for student members, these are the upcoming workshops and masterclasses, which would be of great benefit for you to attend and partake. And again, these were raised and identified in the last branch meeting as well. For full members, the professional development events coming up in October and December and the early part of 2022 are identified there. And again, you can register for those on the website. I'm not sure if registration is open for all of them yet, but the mentoring one took place last week, I think it was, and it was very good. So these are well worth attending. They're excellent resources for you, giving you more background, more information about the profession that we're in. And just before I hand over to our presenter today, we've been working hard behind the scenes, the committee, and again, my thanks to everybody's hard work in putting together a schedule of presentations for the upcoming meetings towards the end of the year and into 2022. So following on from Charles' presentation last month about asbestos, we'll have another angle on what is an interesting and very hazardous subject from Alex Hardy of Elements Materials Technology, and he'll be talking about the history, the hazards and the local legislation regarding asbestos. Excuse me. Lamis Al-Kami will be presenting from PASMA in October, and I'm hopeful of confirming the CEO of the Institute of Leadership and Management to be presenting in November. Now, those two presentations might interchange, so it might be the Institute of Leadership and Management in October, and it might not be the CEO, but we will let you know in due course. We don't have anything in the diary yet for December or January, but there are certain irons in the fire. And in February, we'll focus on safety in the heat, because February is the coldest month in Abu Dhabi, so it's the most appropriate time to look at preparing and planning for the forthcoming summer. And then in May, of course, as usual, we will have the AGM and elections. So again, March and April very much to be confirmed. Now, if anybody does have any material they want to present on, any ideas for presentations, or know people who would be very good presenters, or companies that would like to be involved in the branches, again, please let me know, let the committee know. We can discuss it on WhatsApp as well, and we can take it from there. Okay, this is a members organisation, so it's very much for the members and of the members. So if there's things that you want to see, if there's things that you want to deliver, please let me know and we can make those arrangements. Okay, so without further ado, I'll hand over to Dr. Hani Hosni, who, as I say, is the EHS Director at the Abu Dhabi Centre for Waste Management, for his presentation on risk management.
Thank you, Peter. I'm very glad to be with you here in IIRSM UAE branch. Thanks for the host. Thanks for the organizer. Thank you, Peter. Thanks also to Mr. Mohammed Asif Malik. I appreciate that to be with you today. My presentation today is about risk management. Let me go through. I need just to be sure that it's on the screen.
It's not on there yet, Dr. Hani.
Now?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Hang on 1 second.
I can see it on my screen here.
Okay. We can see you. It's hidden. There you go. That's perfect. We can see your screen now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very, very good. It's my first time to use your system, by the way. Thanks a lot, Donna. My presentation today about risk management and especially what we are using in Abu Dhabi in Abu Dhabi Waste Management Center. So thank you again for hosting. My name is Dr. Hani Hosni. I have been working in TADWEER since 2015. And before that, I was working in OSHAD executive as an executive committee member in OSHAD, and also I work in TADWEER ADDC as a HSEQ manager and management representative. I have been a board member in Dubai Quality Group and managing director of EECT in 2011. I have a master quality management and DBA from Aston University in Birmingham. I have been working ADDC and we won a Sheikh Khalifa Excellence Award in 2007 and 2011. And also, I'm very happy to say that we won the 5-star from British Safety Council in 2009. This is me. TADWEER Abu Dhabi Center of Waste Management. We are working in the cleanliness and sweeping and collecting solid waste. We are working also in waste collection and transportation of the waste. We have several projects in Abu Dhabi, in the Emirate of Abu Dhabi, 27 projects of collecting the waste and the crusher of building and construction and the tires. We are also working as awareness, spreading the awareness, and finally pest control. Okay, now about the presentation. The presentation, it will enable you to understand and carry out effectively EHS risk assessment through defining the terms used in risk assessment. We will talk about the list of the information required, the state, how to analyze risk, and finally carry out risk assessment in Abu Dhabi, in our environment service provider, our ESP. So what is risk? Risk assessment is a simple process of identifying hazards and evaluating the risks, and then identifying controls to eliminate or avoid or minimize those risks to as low as possible risk level. The qualitative risk assessment, we are using approaches recommended from the health and safety executive of 5 steps to risk assessment, and the steps to risk assessment as a case study, INDG 163 and HSG 183. We are taking these approaches to use it in our system. The 5 steps of risk assessment. The first step to identifying the hazards, including identifying the people who might be harmed. It's very important to know the hazards that you are dealing with. Then you need to assess the risks. Then step 3, to decide the required risk control measure and to understand which tool you are going to use, which control measure you are going to use. Then number 4, it's to implement the recommended risk control. it's very important to use and to know how you are going to deal with these control of the risks. Then finally, to monitor and review the assessment as and when required. And we will see in this presentation how you are going to do all of these 5 steps. What is hazards? It's very important to identify the difference between hazards and the risks. Hazard is something with the potential to cause harm. So these are the hazards. So this is something can potentially cause a harm to you. Risk, that the hazard itself plus exposure, that you are exposing to these hazards. Is it near you? Are you gonna have you as a part of the accident or around you? So we are going to talk about identifying the hazards. In our organization, we identify 12 hazards. The chemical hazards, this is number 1. Then the biological hazards, the mechanical hazards, and we can see that in the machinery or the fleet, the cars, it might be. The computer workstation hazards, you might have problems during your sitting. You might fall down, or you might slip in your office. Then electricity hazards. Then fire. You might have a small fire or a big fire. Especially in our landfill, we are having from time to time fire, especially on summer, and this is because of chemical reaction from the waste. Housekeeping, manual handling, slips and trips and fall, stresses, physical hazards, and then the driving and working on road hazards. So these are 12 hazards that we identify that we might have it in our organization. Hazards, in order to review the hazards, we have from inside, from our organization, accident and incident. We can have the all of the routine performance report, all of these items. It will give you a good evaluation for the risk. In order to have it very well, you need these documents. You need to have these reports in order to do a proper risk evaluation. So the inspection, audits, reports, assessments, the design review, all of these from inside your organization. And then from outside, you need to have the industry information, the certifying authorities. You need to have some document from the government or some certification from the government. You need to have the laws from the government, maybe. You need to have from the public also. You need to listen to the public, what they need, what's their expectation. All of these, their review, all of these inputs, it can give you a proper hazard and risk overview, and you can do a proper risk evaluation. In the element of work, for inside the work, we need to have the people, employers, employee, and contractors. Your contractors who's dealing with you, the supplier, the public, all of these can help and can do the proper work. Then the materials, the raw materials, the chemical, the construction materials, the explosive, if you are using explosive, all of these also can be done at your work. Then the equipment, the tools that you are using, the machinery, the plant, the vehicles. Finally, the environment, the building, the workspace, the lights, noise, air, quality, temperature, all of these elements, you can find it at work with you. So identifying who might be harmed, which group of people are at risk. So we can have the operators, the maintenance staff, the cleaners, the contractors, the visitors, and the members of the public. All of these people might be at risk. So what is risk? If we need to ask ourselves, what is the risk? It is a measure of the likelihood of harm occurring and the severity of that harm. So it's a measure of the likelihood of harm occurring and the severity of that harm. Okay, risk combination of two main factors, the likelihood and the severity. If we have a high risk, we need to spend a lot of money to reduce this risk because of we need to have some tools to reduce these risks at the workspace. But if we have a low risk, sometimes we need to have a very low amount of money in order to keep and maintain this risk. So the risk evaluation can be in three parts: qualitative, quantitative, and mixed method. Qualitative, we use words to describe likelihood and severity. For example, acceptable or unacceptable. Quantitative, we can use numbers to describe both likelihood and severity, and you will see that in our in the risk matrix. Then the final one, the mixed method. We use words and number to describe the likelihood and the severity. Okay, now this is the risk matrix. Risk matrix is different from organization to another organization. We might have a very simple risk matrix. It depends about how the work implement in your organization. For example, if we don't have too much risk in the organization that we have, so you will see green, orange, and a little bit yellow and orange and a little bit of reddish. But if we have been working in airlines, for example, or space, or working in a very nuclear, for example, or organization, so it might be the red area, it might be covering a little bit deeper, and you will see all of the risk matrix can be yellow and orange and reddish. So it depends about the organization. You can decide, you can design your risk matrix depend on your organization, your needs, your appetite of the risk. Decide the required risk control measure. Existing control, we have safe working procedure. We need to have it in any organization. We need to have check and inspection, a list of inspection for different, for example, for us, we have inspection for site visit to accommodation. We have inspection to the field, and so we have a different list of inspection. We have also training and instruction and information. This is existing rules, controls. We have sign and alarms. We have a proper housekeeping, supervision, specialist assessment, personal protective equipment, and this is very important also to use and to have the your work personal protective equipment for the required for your work. You need to have something related to your work, not something that it cannot be implemented, or it cannot be you cannot have it to your work. You need to have planned preventive maintenance and testing. This is very important also to ensure that your tools and your equipment are in a good shape. The environmental control, the light and temperature for the environment where you are staying, where you are doing the work, and then the final, the guards and the barriers. The hierarchy of control, we have different hierarchy. We have eliminate, to eliminate the risk. And you cannot eliminate the risk 100%, but at least you need to do your best to eliminate the risk for as much as you can, 99% maybe. Then substitute, if you can substitute the material you are using, the tools that you are dealing with. Sometimes the plant, if the plant, your plant is having, for example, for us, we having a landfill, a very old landfill, and we decided to use a new engineering landfill. So we build after 40 years. Our landfill, by the way, it's 40 years old, the old one. Now we are having a new one. We built it before 5 years, and we are using it to eliminate the risk for the future. So this is substitute. Then the engineering control, the engineering control that you are dealing with, for example, barriers. You are using some cover for the machinery. So all of these are engineering controls. And then admin control, where you are writing a memorandum or a circular to use the proper way of instruction, like an instruction. Then final things, the personal protective equipment. So these, the hierarchy of control, as I said. So in order to implement the risk control in step 4, we need to tackle most significant risk first. You need to have risk register, and you need to tackle first the most significant risk. There is a say that you need to, the 80-20 rule. So you need to start with the 20% first. It will relieve you later on. And then to use the hierarchy of control measure, as I said in the previous slides. Then the interim measures. Then the time scale to implement. You need to tackle this operation within, for example, within a month, or within 2 months, or within a year. You have to decide what's the time scale to implement your operation. And who to be informed? Who's your client? How you will deal with these? Who's the people that you will do the work with? And then it should be action by whom? By the manager, the responsible person, the supervisor, or the HSE officer. Who's handling? Who's the owner? And then you need to implement it. The last step is monitor and review of assessment, and this is very important. If you deal with the risk and you forget about it, this is not good. You need to review your assessment. You need to monitor it. So the assessment must be monitored and reviewed if in particularly cases every month, or every 2 months, or twice a year. You have to state that. Then there is a reason to suspect it is no longer valid. If it's no longer valid, you need to check if it's okay, if it's eliminated already or not. If there has been a significant change, if there is a major change in your organization or in your process, then you need to have a proper review of that and assessment of the risk. After any incident, a major or repeated accident, you need to do also a risk assessment. You need to ensure that these incidents from why it happened. And if there is any new process or any new equipment, you need to do a risk assessment to ensure that this equipment or this process is working and valid for your organization, and there is no risk harming your process or your people around you. This is my presentation. Before that, I need just to share with you 2 things, if you allow me. I will share with you, for us, every high risk organization or environmental service provider, we are doing for them a waste entity risk classification questionnaire from this questionnaire, we can identify how they are dealing with their organization, and we are having a scoring for them in order to know they are a high risk or medium risk or low risk organization, and based on that we will deal with them. So we are having an Excel sheet, and this based on this Excel sheet, if they are reporting, for example, yes, they will have directly, it will be with a formula. This is with a formula. We will identify these organization. We are having 142 organization dealing with the waste in Abu Dhabi. So, and since we are the regulator in the Emirate of Abu Dhabi, so we need to regulate these organization and give them as much as possible the procedure and working under our umbrella for the health and safety management system of the Emirate of Abu Dhabi. So we are the regulator, and we are helping these organizations to be a good organization and fulfilling all the requirements of the Emirate of Abu Dhabi. The final one, I need to show you also the risk register in our organization and how we are dealing with that. This is a little bit small. I'll increase it a little bit. So this is the risk assessment for the best control. We are using the rodent control treatment, for example, and these are how we are using it, the process, the activity, all the process. We are having all the process under us. We are trying to control all the process. We need to know every single task under each process and what is the hazards, and we are keeping control and trying our best to ensure and to eliminate these risks using the references of OSHAD or any other legal document and legal requirement. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I hope I covered my presentation on my time.
Thank you, Dr. Hani. That's a very informative and comprehensive presentation on the principles of risk management and risk assessment. Donna, did we have any questions submitted?
Hi, we haven't had any questions for Dr. Hani yet, but I have a question for you, Peter. It's from John Mangalan, and he's saying that he's not a branch member and he would like to know how he can become a member of the IISM UAE branch. And can you explain the different levels of IISM membership?
Okay. I probably can. Put me on the spot. So there are on the website. Just a minute. Let me have a look. So principally, as long as you're a member of IRSM, then you're a member of the branch. If you're based in the United Arab Emirates, so yeah, so as long as you're based in the United Arab Emirates, you're eligible to be a member of the UAE branch. So yes, I think I probably did confuse the matter by saying that you needed to be a branch member and an IRSM member. What I actually meant is you needed to be a member of the branch, which automatically means that you are a member of IRSM. Okay, so I'm just having a quick look on the branch website now for the different membership levels, of which there are 5. So there's a student membership. There's an affiliate membership, so you can, if you're a partial practitioner or you've got a passing interest in occupational safety and health, you can become an affiliate member. There is an associate member level, So if you're in the process of obtaining professional qualifications or professional development, you can become an affiliate before you become a full member. Okay, and full membership is applicable to all full-time occupational safety and health professionals. And there's a number of different criteria which you can see on the website. And then there's another level of membership which is specialist. Okay, so they all come with their different caveats and remits and conditions. So I advise you to go and look specifically on the website for that information. But yeah, going back to the original point, if you're a member of IRSM and you're based in the UAE, then technically you're a branch member. So if that question was in relation to the site visit, then I hope that's cleared that up.
Brilliant. Thank you, Peter. I've got a question for Dr. Hani. Could you clarify the 20% quantum you mentioned during the presentation?
Are you on mute, Dr. Hani?
You are talking about the rule 80-20?
Yes, I think that's what the question refers to.
Rule 80-20, if you have 100% of your problems, for example, if you don't take everything, just try to organize the problems that you have from and you need to focus only on the hardest problems. So if you take 20% of the problems, then you are relieved. You are relieved by 80%. This is a rule you can look at it in the Google it 80-20 rule. So to have more information about it and how to use it. And you can use it, by the way, not only in risk assessment, in any problems that you have in your life. Yes, Peter.
Yeah, I was going to add, it's a rule, not a law. Okay, so it's not hard and fast, but it's a principle of management more than anything else.
Yes.
And it implies, or it suggests, that people spend 80% of their time on 20% of their work, or you get 80% of your business from 20% of your customers. Okay, so it's this sort of proportionality which Dr. Hani is referring to in terms of risk. So 80% of your risk might come from 20% of your activities.
Thank you very much, Peter, for the explanation. Thank you.
Yeah, 80% of your controls might be focused on 20% of your risks. So it's that sort of principle that you need to be thinking about, and you will focus on a lower proportion of your risks by very nature, that there'll be fewer. You should have fewer high risks, but those are the risks that you're going to spend more time on. So again, you can see how the 80-20 rule would apply there.
Lovely. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Dr. Hani. We have another question from Anish. So could you please advise about so we're talking about eye irritant, and how are we able to consider eye irritant as a risk? I think he thinks it's a consequence of an event. So could you advise what the best practice would be?
For what? Eye what?
So eye irritant. So irritation of the eye.
Eye irritant. Yeah.
How can we consider that as a risk? Because surely it's a consequence of an event. So something's happened to make the eye irritated.
Yeah, for example, if you are, I got the question, Linda. Thank you very much. For example, if you are working on a site with the chemical, or outside, for example, in the hot area like our country, 50 degrees. So you might be swelling, or you might harm your eyes from chemical. So you will by default, you will sometimes something, it will go to your eyes, so it will harm you. It will harm your eyes. So what you need to do, you need to mention that in as a control, and you need to have some water, for example, or some shower equipment in your organization or in your area in order to clean your eyes. Or sometimes, for example, for us, we have a small pharmacy or first aid box. Inside it, there is a small box of washing the eyes. So this is it might be reducing the risk of eye irritation, and you might have a good what they call it, risk control measure to avoid that. But it depends about the location. It depends about what you are doing. I don't know this irritation, what's the causes of it. You need to explain more in order to have a proper result or a proper risk control.
Lovely. I think that's it for questions so far. I don't know if any more come in, shall I let you know?
Yep.
We are here.
We're here for the next 5 minutes.
Brilliant.
Okay. Again, thank you very much for that, Dr. Hani. Comprehensive and informative
My pleasure,
presentation regarding risk management. Thank you.
It's my pleasure.
Donna, if you can let me share my screen, I can.
Yeah, will do, Peter. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right. I
No
can wrap
problem.
up the last few.
So if I don't have anything, Peter, if you want me to be with you for the next 5 minutes,
it's entirely up to you, Dr. Hani. If you wish to take
No,
your leave now, you're more than welcome.
I don't have anything.
Okay, fine.
Okay, Peter, I've got one more question that's
go
come
on
in.
then. Go on. Yeah, go on.
So I think this will probably be the last one. Sorry. How can TADWEER help with the stray cat dog problem in the area?
The what?
Stray
Help
cat
to what?
dog problem in the area?
I think this is more of a personal issue than a professional one. But the questioner is asking about how TADWEER can help with stray cats and stray dogs.
Our best control, we are helping as much as possible. We have the best control in TADWEER, and of course we are the cat and the pets, especially the cat and dogs. We are helping them, and we have some shelters for any dogs or cats outside in the area, in the neighborhood. We are taking it with care to our shelters, and they are dealing with that in a proper way. So this is it's a part of TADWEER also work. So we have no problem at all. But some people also, they are visiting our shelter. They are welcome to see how we are treating the dogs and cats in our organization.
Is there a number or an email that people can use to contact TADWEER about if they've got a particular pest problem?
Yes, they can call the info@tadweer.gov.ae, and or they can call the 800-555, the Emirate of Abu Dhabi government
the government
number, in order to if they having in their neighborhood outside their houses some dogs or cats, they can call us and we can come to collect these. We are asking first, because if they have some bin or some identification bin, we can call their owners. Otherwise, we will put them in our shelter for a few days, and we are treating them, and then trying to. I don't know the procedure really for that because it's not under my director. Right.
Okay. But there's a process for people to contact TADWEER, so
Yes.
TADWEER can come and address the
There's no
issue.
harm at all. The telephone
Very
number is there, and you can, if you go to our website also, there's a lot of information about that in our website.
Very good. Very good. Okay, thank you for that, Dr. Hani.
You're welcome, my dear.
Okay then, ladies and gentlemen, I will just wrap up with the last few slides in any other business. So we still have merchandise available. If any members are interested in availing themselves of a smart black or white polo shirt, similar to the one I'm sporting today, a baseball cap or a mug, please let me know. You can send me an email or you can message me, and I'll happily arrange for delivery, or you can arrange for collection, either way. The social media and communication, the WhatsApp group is bursting at the seams. We might have a couple of spaces available if there's anybody who wants to be added in. We have a Twitter account, and the YouTube there is the central IRSM YouTube account. If you Google IRSM official, sorry, Google it, go onto YouTube and search IRSM official, and it will bring up that account. You can email us if you're still stuck in the 1990s on UAE branch at irsm.org. And that goes straight through to the committee members' personal emails. And obviously we have the website and the new LinkedIn page. So plenty of ways to get in touch and to stay in touch. And with that addressed, it only leaves me to say that the next meeting will be the first Wednesday of September, which will be the 7th, where we will be welcoming Alex Hardy to present on asbestos. And until then, I extend my thanks and gratitude to Dr. Hani Hosni, and to Donna and the team in the UK for helping to facilitate this meeting. But most importantly, to you, the members, for your time and attendance. And until we meet again in September, I wish you a very safe and healthy time in Abu Dhabi.
Thank you.
Thanks, Peter. There's a few extra questions, but what I'll do is I'll send them to you separately.
Okay, that's fine.
Lovely. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.